One, Ryan Gable of ETV Sports, joined by senior captain Amanda Mitchell of the women's swimming team. Amanda, thank you for joining us. Of course, you're a four-year swimmer. You're a member of the NISDA All-Academic Team, a NISDA
Mhm.
qualifier, and a member of the LEC Honor Roll. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And so you kind of mentioned, co-ed, a lot of restrictions, of course, with your team. So how has that team chemistry been like despite all the restrictions?
I think we've been doing a really good job of making sure that everyone is still really close to each other. We've had a really good history on this team of being like teammates and friends. So like we'll hang out with each other outside of the pool or outside of the locker room. And we, for me personally, I've been having a couple small groups of freshmen that are in my swim pods come over to my house and we'll watch a movie with masks on so that we can still get to know each other, still feel really close as a team, but keep the morale high.
And before Thanksgiving, your team had a few inter-squad scrimmages during that time. So how important were those scrimmages to help not only yourself, but the team as well?
Personally, I love the inter-squad scrimmages. I think the biggest thing that helped us was that it was the first and only time that we were able to see the full team all together. Even though we were facing against each other and we didn't really get the chance to really talk to everyone on the team because we had to stay distant from each other and because we were focused on our events and things, um, I got to interact with my team members who are in a different like pod session for practice who I don't usually get to see, and that was really cool. I think it also really helped keep our competitive spirits up, and it showed us that we were still making progress during practice, and it made practice seem a little bit more worthwhile because we knew we were getting better.
And this upcoming season, the season that we have never seen before, how,
Mhm.
as a leader, you are preparing this team to get ready for these four meets?
I think as how do I want to phrase this? I think what my role is personally is to make sure people are like more emotionally ready for the meets rather than physically. Sari and the coaching staff is doing such a great job making sure that we're physically ready. I think as captain of the team, we're really focused on making sure people are wanting to be there, wanting to cheer for each other, and wanting to do our very best. And I think that all ties into keeping the morale up that we already talked about and making sure, even though I don't personally practice with this person who's in a different practice pod, I know what they're swimming and I know that I can cheer for them and count on them to cheer for me.
And you mentioned in a previous interview from one of your squad scrimmages how young this team is. So
Oh,
how
yeah.
have these newcomers and these underclassmen been handling this upcoming season and that preparation?
I think they're handling it like champions. Um, we were all really sore during the winter training. It was pretty tough. We were doing days where we had two times in the water, so 4 hours total for the day, and we'd have a lift in the middle. And it was challenging, and it's especially challenging if you've never done that before. But our freshmen and our underclassmen took it in stride. I am so impressed with them always, and I hope they see this interview because I want them to know how impressed I am with them at all times. I think that all of them have experience in competition, and I think they'll all do really well, especially with the excitement of the first college swim meet.
And you had Coach Fahey in the beginning of your tenure here at Eastern. Now, you're
Mhm.
towards your upperclassman, Suri Gillespie, being your head coach now in the second season. So, how has she been like for not only yourself and your development, but just the whole entire team in general?
I think for the whole team in general, she is helping us um, get stronger with some of the more mid-distance events. We mostly were doing, or at least me personally, because I'm a sprinter, I was mostly focusing on like my 50s and 100s with Coach. I always mispronounce her name. She knows that I always mispronounce her name, with Coach Fahey. Um, but I've been leaning more towards training for the 200s now, which has been really helpful for me because it diversifies what I can swim and it diversifies what we all can swim. One of the practices that she introduced to us was Sari introduced to us. It's called USRPT. And it definitely stands for something like complex and swimmy, but Sarit likes to call it, you should probably try really, or you should probably really try. And it just means we're going all out and we're doing the best that we can at a pace that we can maintain. So I really think that has helped us and me.
Perfect. And as the season is coming closer and closer at start time, what are your expectations for this team?
My expectations for this team, that is such a great question because we haven't gotten to see them in actual competition yet. So it's hard to know if we'll do well compared to other teams because we don't know what other teams' practice schedules are like since every school has different restrictions. I think that not comparing them to other teams, just looking at ourselves, that we're going to do great. I think that our whole team is so prepared. We have a couple swimmers that are, including myself, that are coming off of an injury, and we're all back in the water. We have swimmers that are like just developed tendonitis from working so hard during winter training, and they're all still in the water. They're all still doing so well. I think we're going to see great things out of this team.
And so, what do you expect out of yourself then during the season as well, besides the team?
Oof. I've been thinking about this question. I don't know if this season's personally going to be my best season. I already said I was just coming off an injury, so it's been tough getting back into training after taking so long off and losing so much muscle tone. But I am hoping that the work that we're putting in now is going to get me back to where I was and maybe even push me a little bit faster.
Well, perfect. Well, Amanda, thank you for giving us a nice preview of your team season, and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much, and we hope to see you at some of the home meets, Ryan.
Thank you.